Hi everybody, I'm Ethan Tuttle, joined alongside Chris Cartman. We're here at Desert Financial Arena following Arizona State's 85-67 loss to the number 6 ranked Arizona Wildcats. Chris, the Sun Devils dropped to 14-15 overall, and they're now 8-10 in conference play. And in this one, they got off to a slow start. They trailed by as much as 18 in the first half. However, captured some energy towards the end of that first half and really kind of catapulted it into the beginning of the second half as they came out and it seemed like they were lights out here on senior night. Just your thoughts on what enabled the Sun Devils to at least draw it back a little closer there in the midpoint of the game.
Yeah, that was a little scary. I think a lot of the people here were having visions of what happened in Tucson, the 45-point loss, and the ability to come back and play a pretty effective 30 minutes. Outside of the first, handful of minutes and then the last several minutes where they dropped down. The final score was not really indicative, I don't think, of the overall game. ASU seemed like they had a chance to get back and make it a one-possession game or even maybe take the lead. There was a key sequence where Jemiah Neal got a steal, looked like he was going to go in for a layup. He got the ball stripped from him, and then Arizona got an and one going back the other way. And then Caleb Love started hot, and then he finished the game, and that's what happens when you have really great players that can put the ball in the basket. So, but ASU, what enabled the comeback, I think their ball security was tremendous. They only had 3 turnovers in the first 30 or 32 minutes of the game, which that's outstanding. And then they didn't foul a lot. Remember, the Arizona and Tucson, Gaffney and Phillips were in foul trouble really early and then fouled out. And Arizona was at the free throw line a lot. Tonight, Ballo didn't have nearly as much of an impact at the foul line, nor did anybody else really on the team. So those two things, I think, were probably the primary factors that led to ASU coming back, despite they didn't shoot the ball very well, missed a lot of shots inside the arc and even outside the arc. And Bobby Hurley said that they didn't have an A or an A-plus game. I think it was more like a B effort, and it was a ripe opportunity had they played a little bit better on the offensive side throughout the game.
Yeah, 35% from the field for the Sun Devils by the end of the game. You can see behind us now, obviously, the seats are completely empty, but at the start of this game and really throughout, up through halftime until it kind of got out of hand towards the end, Chris, loud crowd here in DFA, and the student section in particular showed out. It was the 4th largest student showing for a men's basketball game. What do you think that added for the Sun Devils, and how did Arizona kind of overcome that tonight?
Yeah, there was over 14,000 fans. That's usually a once a year at most thing for Arizona, unless ASU is a really good team, which it isn't. There were a lot of fans for Washington State. There have been a surprising response from the fan base for ASU being a very average at best type of a team. So that's an impressive thing. Bobby Hurley's complimented the fans. There was a expletive chant from the very outset when Arizona came onto the floor. Caleb Love did his forks down thing that Kirk Krissa did last year against ASU. But every time there was a chant of ASU, there was a response, U of A, or vice versa. And I thought it was a great college basketball environment. And it's hard when that's the environment and you're the home team and you're struggling to get some air in your sails that kind of helps you forward. So absolutely, I think that this is the type of environment that contributed to ASU's ability to come back and make this competitive.
Bobby Hurley said post-game that this was one of the best, if not the best, Arizona teams he's had to go up against and coach against. What were your thoughts on his statement there, and how do you feel like this Arizona team stacks up to some of the previous teams that have come through this very building?
I think that point guard play was a little bit more of an issue for Tommy Lloyd earlier than it is this year. This team has great length, athleticism, skill. You have interior presence, Ballo. You have Larson. He didn't really shoot the ball that well tonight, but he is a really good shooter. Caleb Love is a super dynamic, versatile guard who can score at all 3 levels, great athlete. So And they're really well coached also. Like, they are a very efficient team. They get into their actions in a hurry. They don't take very many bad shots. They turn the ball over a decent amount, and ASU was able to take advantage of that today. But Arizona's ability to score the ball in the paint is so good, while also generating open threes, that it just makes it a very difficult thing. And are they the best team? They're probably the best team. I think that still remains to be seen, but they're definitely in that conversation, and they're legitimately a top 10 team in the country.
So now switching gears back to the Sun Devils, what does this kind of do for their confidence level? Obviously, they dropped 2 this year to their in-state rival, 2 of the biggest games of the season, if not the biggest. So how do they rebound with these last 2 remaining away games going into the conference tournament?
Yeah, the odds are they're probably going to be somewhere between a 7 and a 10 seed. And if they win the first game of the Pac-12 tournament against a lesser seed, they'll probably have to play either Arizona or Washington State. And so, I asked Adam Miller about this after tonight's game, if you can take confidence from the way you played Arizona tonight. He said that he's no doubt in his mind that the ASU can beat either one of those teams in the Pac-12 tournament. They're going to have to win a game before they even get that opportunity on Wednesday, because they're not going to be in the top 4 seeds that get a bye. But, of course, they can beat Washington State. Tonight it looked like they can at least hang with Arizona, if not maybe win, if everything goes right, if they have an A-plus type of a game, which Bob Hurley said they need to have. And then, from there, you might have to beat the other team. You might have to beat both of them, potentially. So there's a reason ASU's never won the Pac-12 championship, only been to the final game once in whatever it is, 27 years. It's very unlikely, but Miller did say correctly that ASU won 4 straight at the outset of the season, and so, who knows what could happen.
Yeah, if you get hot at the right time, just like you said, nobody really knows.
Yep.
Great analysis, Chris. Thank you so much. That's going to do it for us here at Desert Financial Arena. 85-67 the final as the number 6 Wildcats come out on top. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.